I'm Daniel, and I'm a marine navigator. I actually study in Regional Maritime University, and I'm here to share my experiences with you, what I've endured on sea, and how you can also do it. Yeah.
Okay, hi everyone. My name is Michelle. I'm a marine engineer. I studied in the Regional Maritime University, and I'm here to share my experiences at sea with you. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's go for a ride.
It's a total package that they have today to give to you guys. I hope this episode can change someone's life. She made mention of the fact that if you're a lady and you are interested in the whole marine engineering stuff, you can apply, because worldwide there's this women empowerment thing that they are looking for a lot of women to work in that sector. So if you're a lady, please, after watching this video, you can be her friend. She's looking for more friends, right?
Yes.
Especially ladies, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. You're also looking for more friends, right?
Any works. Yeah.
But I can't say especially guys.
Yeah.
Okay, so guys, welcome on to the show. Let's start with my boss. How did you get into this field?
Okay. Well, it's a long story, but I'll try to wrap it up and
Okay.
make it short.
Okay.
As actually, growing up, I wanted to be a soldier,
Okay.
like work in the Ghana army. My mom told me no.
Okay.
I don't know why, but I don't mean to say any bad stuff to those working in the army, but she said no.
Okay.
So I later wanted to become a medical doctor.
Okay.
So I wrote BC. I told you I wrote BC in 2013, promoted to ride, and I had very good grades, actually the top of the class. But I had a school which I wouldn't want to mention the name, and I didn't want the school. But what I really wanted was in Fantipin,
Okay.
senior high. So I rewrote my BEC in the year 2014.
Okay.
But choosing the schools, I chose Adisadel College.
Okay.
And God being so good, I had the chance to study in Adisadel College, pursued science. When I got there, I changed my options. No more medical doctor. I wanted to do IT because I felt the world was evolving to these technological ages. So I studied general science with elective ICT.
Okay.
After finishing that, I came home and I applied to. I actually met one woman on campus who gave me scholarships and admission to Ashes University. But after completing, I served a mission for my church. So I served a mission in the Democratic Republic of Congo
Okay.
and somewhere around Zambia for 2 years,
Okay.
voluntarily. So instead of going to the tertiary level, I just halted my studies and traveled out of the country to serve God.
Okay.
So I came back in the year 2020. And when I came, I was like, I don't want to work in the IT field, but what I really have passion for is to be a pilot, an aeroplane, just be holding the helm and just moving in the skies. That was what I really wanted. And even now, I still feel it buried inside me that that's what I really want to do.
Okay.
So one time while I was home, a friend of my dad called my father, and this man works in the marine industry. So he spoke to my dad about options, what he proposes I do. So my dad just passed on the phone to me and asked me, "Are you interested in working in the marine industry?" And I hadn't even heard about Regional Maritime University.
Okay.
I didn't even never thought of working on the ship or anything. So I was like, wow, I want to be a pilot, and working on the sea is the same as being in the skies because it's still navigation, just that water and air. So I'll take the navigation as in working on sea because it's hard to get a chance to be a pilot from Ghana. In Ghana, it's actually a difficult task to embark on. So that was how come I started with my journey in the marine industry. So I bought forms for the Regional Maritime University, applied, got admission, and started my program here in the year 2020 and finished. Yes.
So, I mean, how is it like when you go to sea? What are some of the things that you guys experience on sea? Because you were showing me some videos that were wow.
Okay. So, well, I would say it's a whole package. It's a lot.
Okay.
It's a lot. There are interesting stuff.
Okay.
Really interesting stuff. I love the part where I get to meet new people.
Okay.
And I didn't even say this earlier on.
Okay.
I'm a person who loves languages. When I served a mission in DR Congo, DR Congo is a francophone country. And
Okay.
getting into the country, I wasn't speaking French, but I loved French. I was able to learn perfect French, and I write perfect and speak perfect French now. I was able to learn Swahili also, just that I'm losing my Swahili skills because I get no one to practice with.
Okay.
And from there, working on the ship, I've been to lots of Spanish-speaking countries, and my love for the language got me to embark on a self-tutoring Spanish class,
Okay.
which I embarked on, and God being so good, I completed that. I used TikTok and other platforms, studied every evening, and I have people now, and I was going outside in these Spanish countries speaking Spanish. I wouldn't rate it at 100%, but I can put my pedestal at about 65. I'm able to speak Spanish, communicate clearly, and write what I want to write in Spanish. So there's a lot to, I think within the conversation, these experiences would come up.
Okay, so growing up, I didn't really have like a profession that I loved. Like, say, maybe when you were a child, you say you want to be a doctor or something. I didn't really have something like that. So when I completed JHS, I studied science, and that was the influence of my sister and my mother.
Okay.
I'm like, okay, I felt like it's something that I could do. So I studied science back in SHS, and after I completed SHS, I still didn't have like a particular profession that I wanted to do. I'm really close to my sister, so she influenced me actually in a good way. She studied petroleum engineering, so she's a petroleum engineer now. So she got to meet people, she worked with marine engineers and all that, so she knew that it's a lucrative field to like venture. So she spoke to me about it, and I decided to study marine engineering. So I enrolled in the Regional Maritime University. Yeah, so that's how come I got to
into it.
Yes.
But you went to sea from January to September, right?
Yes, actually, I went to sea I think in May.
Okay.
And then I came back in November.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then I spent a month here, and then I went back January, and I came in August.
Oh,
Just
I
recently.
see.
Yes.
So how is it like when you go to sea? What are some of the experiences you guys have on sea? Because I'm told it's not easy. You are into you do marine engineering, right?
Yes.
So you are the woman that goes into the engine room and all that. Are you not scared?
No, actually, no. First time entering into something, you would have like certain voices in your head telling you, hey, what if this happens? Hey, what? But as and when you continue doing it, you get so used to it. Yeah, it becomes like a daily routine for you. So my first time sailing, the first time I actually entered the engine room, it was overwhelming.
Okay.
You understand? It was overwhelming, but it became it became a routine.
Okay.
So I got used to the environment. It became like my second bedroom.
The engine room became your second
Yes,
bedroom.
because I feel like I spend more hours over there than like hours outside the engine room.
Okay.
So I got used to it.
Okay.
Yes.
So when there's a fault on the ship or in the ship, you are the person they call.
Yeah, technically yes.
So let's say there's a fault, there's a leakage that will cause, let's say, probably an accident.
Pollution.
Yeah. And then you are called. What do you go in there to do to save the situation?
Okay, so there are procedures that we follow. Like everything on the ship is planned.
Okay.
So it's more or less like we simulate all these incidents.
Okay.
So let's say spillages, like let's say we are spilling oil into the ocean. We've already simulated this incident happening, and we've done drills that like we know the procedures that we are supposed to follow when such an incident happens.
Okay.
So immediately it happens. How do I say this? Like we take action.
Yes.
Exactly. We take action. And even we make sure that such incidents don't happen, because if a spillage happens, it's like it's cost.
Okay.
It's you get fined, so many investigations. So we put in what's the word? Yeah, we put in measures to ensure that incidents like that do not happen. They rarely happen.
Okay.
On a scale of like 1 to 10, maybe 3 to they rarely happen.
I was told these guys that go for the whole stowaway things. You guys sometimes, I mean, because it's scary, sometimes when you see, I spoke to one guy that came to share his experience, and I was like, after the shoot, I told him like, but what made you do that thing? You could have been in Ghana, sell pure water and make money.
Yes.
It was like, bro, Ghana is shit. you get it.
Yes.
She is like the Titanic version of what you do. You have experienced more of the ups and downs when it comes to like sailing. What is one of the shocking moments that you had at deep sea that you felt like, God?
So as I'll hit on one thing you said.
Please hit on it.
Selling pure water.
Okay.
Actually, she knows it.
Yes.
Like, you shouldn't get discouraged with whatever you do. Guys, like, for real, love whatever you do. I personally, when I came back from mission, even before I went, I remember, I wouldn't say it was child labor. No, my parents had nothing to do with it. It was my own drive to work and earn something. At about 17 years old, every vacation from Adisador College, I would take a tricycle from almost Kaswa, go to Malam Junction,
Almost Kaswa.
get water from Malam Junction, come back to almost Kaswa, and sell in and around Kaswa.
Okay.
I was doing that each vacation, and even till now, even yesterday, I sold pure water. You
On
see
your
me?
head?
Yes, not on my head, but with a tricycle.
Okay.
And trust me, I made a lot.
A lot of money.
I made an investment
Okay.
back in DR Congo, in Dallas, all from my earnings in pure water
Oh.
selling. I was able to finance my tuition here with the help of my dad through selling pure water. I bought my first car through selling pure water. I bought my second through selling pure water.
You
Yes, the car you saw, I bought it all through
You
selling
sold pure water to buy.
Yes, I was selling about 800 bags a day. I started the first day, I sold 30 bags, and I felt it was good until they told me no, someone sold like 200, 300. I felt it was, but that's the story for another day. But yeah, back to your question. There are lots of challenges. If I'm to talk, I have a lot to say. There
Really?
are challenges, yes. So pure water selling is actually good. Whatever you do it and do it good.
Okay.
You are going to get successful with that.
Okay.
I am a living testimony to that.
Okay.
Challenges I face on board. Well, I don't know how you'd say this, but one time I was dreaming. While asleep, I dreamt. I had a dream. My vessel had faced an accident, and we had to use a lifeboat and come back, out of the dangers or the danger in which we found ourselves.
Okay.
So apparently, this dream was connected to my home. You know how dream works. So I finished with the dream, and in the dream, this incident had happened, and after that, the place that we found refuge was almost in my area, around Iron City. So I was like, we found ourselves sitting on top of this balloon like something in the dream. And I was like, what is this? So early in the morning, I woke up and told my mom and dad, this is a dream I've had, like an accident happening on board and all that. And well, I've prayed about it and all that. So fine. Surprisingly, the same day, at around 1300, that's 1 p.m., the vessel, we were from Israel and we passed through Spain for banquet, and we were headed to Brazil actually.
Okay.
So somewhere in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, the vessel, I'm a navigator, so I could feel I was working on deck, so I could feel the vessel had stopped and it's making a detour, altering its course, and I could see the horizon and the clouds. You see, there's nothing you can use to see it's changing direction, only fixing the position with the clouds or with any celestial body and seeing the bearing changing. So I've realized that the vessel is altering course. And we saw that there was this life raft on the ocean, and you see sailing rules and all that. Whenever you see anyone in distress, you have to stop from all that you are doing and go to the rescue of the person or the vessel. You have to go help the person. So they altered their course because they found the life raft on the ocean. And when I was shocked because in the middle of the ocean, it's not close to any land, not close. Even if we have an incident and a helicopter is supposed to come to our rescue, it would take about 2 days.
Really?
Because we were in the middle of the ocean, but then the life raft was at that point, meaning someone had found himself or herself in a situation. And unfortunately, we came close to the life raft, and we prepared our staff to go to the rescue of the person, either to lower our rescue boat or any means to get to the aid of the person. We realized the boat was empty.
Oh.
No, the life raft was empty actually, which means the person had maybe gone through whichever distress and had fallen into the water or something. And I felt really bad, and I was shocked. Why do I dream about an incident just this night, and that same morning or afternoon in the same
happened
day
in reality.
I dreamed? Yes. So I was quite fascinated about that. That's a shocking. I've had lots, but this is what I would like to share.
So what's the life raft that you're talking about? Is it like a boat?
Okay.
The balloon thing you were talking about.
Oh, the one the
Yes,
stowaway
it's-
guys use for.
Yes.
Wow.
It's more like a balloon,
it's a
like
balloon
designed in a
inflated.
tent form. Yes,
Oh, okay.
inflatable
Yeah.
tent that floats on the water. So
Yes.
when you are inside, you don't sink. It's used for these emergency situations and you can't get into the lifeboats and you need to, maybe you are the forward peak of the vessel and you can't run to the master station is like gathering point. You can't run if the vessel is about 300 meters. You can't run from the forwardmost part to the afterwards the backyard. No, you can't. So there are these inflatable ones that you guys there, you just take it, throw it. There are means of launching it, so you just launch it and hop inside, jump inside. And then be safe from the.
But we've had instances where a lot of these guys go to stowaway and stuff like that. When you guys meet them, do you save them or you tell them, okay,
actually, I have a friend there. You see, a lot really goes on into this story. It sounds funny, but
but when you interview somebody that has gone on it,
it's a problem for the sailors, those on the vessel.
Yes.
And
yes,
it's a problem.
For
it's
the
a big one.
How is it a problem?
Well, I don't know if what I'm going to say is going to be
with
a
my
problem.
type of vessel, what happens is before leaving port in every country, there's this search that goes on. You have to search every compartment. So me, as part of my duties, I had points which were designated to me that I had to search before we sail out of the port to ensure there's no stowaway on board. So while you do this, you have to make sure the place is checked and clear of any stowaway.
Okay.
So this search has to go on, and after that the vessel sails.
Yeah, and then when you search, you ticket the place that you have. You searched that place.
Yeah.
Okay, that it is safe. There's
and after that, you
there.
sign to it.
You sign to it that
clear.
I searched there, and then it's safe.
It's clear.
Okay.
So when the vessel set sail and then they realize there's a stowaway, where did they find this person? Oh, it means either you didn't search well or something happened. I had a friend who joined from Cote d'Ivoire, and he's a Ghanaian, a friend of mine. He joined from Cote d'Ivoire, and right when he joined, his vessel set sail. And while they were on the ocean going, they found out there was a stowaway from Ivory Coast.
Okay.
And because he was the only African on board,
Yes,
they were like,
that is-
because you're a Ghanaian and Cote d'Ivoire, you know this guy. It is through you because you just joined and this guy just entered the vessel. So it became something that it was a hard time for him.
Okay.
I didn't have the experience to deal with a stowaway situation, but then when per IMO rules, even though that person is a stowaway, if you catch him, you can't maltreat the person.
Okay.
You have to treat him like a guest in the hotel, give him food and all that. So it's a lot, and you see, sometimes fines, and no country is willing to accept stowaways. If you come from Ghana and let's say we get to the US, they are not willing to accept. No country is willing because it becomes a burden onto the country. It's a whole lot, no documentations and all
so
that.
at the end of the day, the stowaway becomes a liability
in the vessel
to the company.
And they become furious because they have to even take care of you and make sure you're in good health. Because if he goes to report that you maltreated him, it's another problem.
But the person was embarking.
That's how come sometimes they can even throw the person overboard.
I've heard.
No one knows about it, so there was no stowaway. But sometimes,
because the guy that came to talk about the stowaway, he went on stowaway, so he was telling me sometimes those things happen.
Yeah.
Like they control you overboard and then.
So you are at their mercy, the mercy of they decide what to do. But generally they wouldn't, because I think we are all humans and most have emotions and all that.
Yes.
It's not. You shouldn't try acts of getting into that. It's not good. It's not
serious,
because
it's dangerous. So because the places that they hide,
machinery spaces.
The spaces that they hide.
She cannot even express because
I haven't experienced it before.
Okay.
However, I've heard stories. The story that I heard was a stowaway hiding in a chain locker. The chain locker is an enclosed space, and you know the anchor of the ship.
Yeah.
It's hinged to these chains, like the chain. When you drop it, you see the chains. When you pull the anchor back, there's a space, an enclosed space where we store
keep them.
Exactly, we store the chains. Now it's because it's enclosed, there's no oxygen, and this chains, when they rust, it forms iron, right?
Yeah.
In an enclosed space, no oxygen. That means that space
they
exactly
react and produce chemicals.
Thank you. That space is filled completely with gases that you cannot breathe in.
And even
how then can someone hide over there?
So there's no oxygen there.
To add to that, when they heave up the anchor, it picks up sand from the seabed.
Okay.
And this not sand, sometimes mud. So it picks up mud and all that and brings it. Yeah, we wash it, but not all dirt goes off it goes in there, and it's very heavy. It's very heavy.
Exactly.
Heavier than a car?
Very heavy.
My-
I
my,
forgot
it's
it. I
heavy.
forgot. I
It's
forgot. I don't want to give a wrong
heavy.
figure, but it's really heavy.
It's heavy.
It's in tons. It's not in kilograms. It's in
So
tons.
that's how heavy it is.
And-
And I'm saying, like, anytime they are heaving up, or is it heaving up?
Yeah, heaving up is bringing it back
And
and,
then-
lowering.
Yeah,
yes.
anytime they are lowering it, it goes with so much force.
Okay.
Imagine being in that space and maybe your hand or something gets entangled in one of the chains. You're just killing yourself. Like, so
Painful death. Like,
Yeah.
it's the worst way
Yeah.
to die.
Wow.
Trust me, it's the worst
So
way to
people
die.
know all these things and still they go.
I think
I don't
sometimes
know.
they don't. It's not safe to be you shouldn't try it because they are concerned about hiding and being conveyed from one point to the other and coming out.
Okay.
But trust me, it's difficult to come out because when you get to the port, are you going to jump into the water and
How?
they would see you when you get there? I don't know how people like
Go and
get
then
into
survive,
this and
yeah.
get out into the countries of destination.
It's
It's
sad.
you shouldn't try it because
shouldn't.
you'd regret it.
But
You'd regret
before
it.
you embark, you sail. How do you check it is safe before you guys embark on this sailing journey?
Okay, well, your question has you mean sailing as in before we leave port or
Port.
before we join the vessel?
No, before you leave port. Joining the vessel, you've been checked, everything.
Yeah,
I mean, you
yeah.
can go now. But how do you check that it is safe to sail from, let's say,
Okay.
Brazil to where you
Okay.
went to some countries, right?
I have been to several countries.
So how do you check it is
He
safe to
would have
move
so
from?
Okay.
much like
So,
to tell you.
as a navigator, what happens is this: before every voyage, we call it voyage. Before every voyage is set, or before we embark on every voyage, each and every voyage, there's this thing that goes on. We call it passage planning.
Okay.
You plan every step of the voyage, just
Okay.
like walking. If you're going to take 30,000 footsteps, you plan every step.
Wow.
So let's say the distance between Delaware, United States to Spain is about, let's say, almost 3,000 nautical miles,
Okay.
which would multiply by 1.825 to get it in kilometers. The second officer on the ship is, he's in charge of the navigation. So he creates or makes this passage planning. He makes this, and
Okay.
it consists of 5 stages. Which, while I use this acronym APEM, APEM, appraisal, planning. After you appraise using all the books, all the manuals, routes, all the charts, all the weather information, considering everything and knowing where you are going to, wherever you are going, and then you plan it out. Okay, we are going to use this passage, these turns, we turn here, we do this, and then you execute it at the third stage. And after it's executed, you have to monitor it if the vessel is moving in that scene, because due to current and certain conditions, it can veer off track. So you have to monitor and keep it on track. So sometimes with bad weather, yes, there's always bad weather, there's always good weather. It depends where you are on the
Very,
ocean.
very true.
Yes. So you plan it out, and some incidents can be precedented. You can tell. Some can be foreseen. Some you are informed well in advance. Some you can't tell in advance. But
Okay.
there are organizations. Some from Miami. There's this oceanographic center in Miami, Florida. Some from Washington. Some in Spain. Some from France. Some from Greece. It depends where you are sailing, where you find yourself. You receive information on a radio. It's called Inmarsat. You receive these weather information from their live updates from these oceanographic centers, informing you about the situation ahead. And even inclusive in the passage planning, they would send you a report from the oceanographic center from the port where you are, telling you about the voyage you're about to embark on, the weather conditions that lie ahead. If you find yourself in a storm, it will tell you. We found ourselves in a storm, I think, twice, and it was,
Whoa.
yes, but we knew it. But we can't say because there would be a storm, we would stop
would stop
and
and-
park somewhere. We would drift on the ocean somewhere and wait till the storm is over.
when you find yourself in storm, you were showing us some videos that chairs were flying and things like that.
Yes.
You just met it. So what do you guys do?
That morning, it was my time to go for watch with my second officer. So I was right when I woke up, I had to go take some stuff from the mess room. That's where we eat. So I went to take some milk and all that. And I realized, no, the movement of the vessel wasn't normal. We were rolling left to right, starboard to port, and no, something was wrong. And I opened the ship's office door, and all the spaces that I entered, normally we secure stuff. Even
Okay.
televisions have hooks on them so they don't
Fall off.
move or topple over. But this time around, the chairs everything was scattered and all that. It was unprecedented, yes, but the ship was still moving, because imagine if you find yourself in such a situation and you stop, your engines fail or you stop, it's more dangerous.
You are giving way to
a catastrophe.
storm, yeah.
Yes. So when
So you
even
move-
in
yeah,
the storm,
you
you
keep
keep moving.
In the storm.
Yes, it's a motivation actually. No matter
The
what
storm
you
is
face
a
in life,
motivation.
keep moving.
No, he's trying
Yeah,
to
I'm
say
trying
the
to say,
whole
no matter what
situation.
you face in life, keep moving, because the more you move, the more stable you are.
Oh,
Because even though you are
yes.
moving side to side, you find yourself the next second in a different position. So you keep moving. So as you are moving, but imagine you are moving left to right and you are you are still at one place. It's more dangerous.
It's more
than-
dangerous.
So you
Yes.
keep your engines moving, you face the
Yeah.
storm, because if you stop,
Yeah.
you are giving way to the storm to topple you over.
Oh.
So you can alter course. Sometimes you can find a way to veer,
Yes.
so you don't enter the center or the eye of the storm.
The
You just
storm.
veer around it, but you'd feel the effects and all that.
Oh, I
But
see.
it's interesting.
It's interesting.
Sometimes you can't stand well. You'd have to open your legs, and it's actually nice, because sometimes while I
It's
watch,
actually-
yeah, it's a nice feeling.
Okay.
Because I remember incidences where I'll do you can't take videos because we are at work and you have to keep a safe navigation.
Okay.
Phones are out. But I'll see my second officer talking to me, and he's facing this way or he's walking to the
By the end of the
starboard,
conversation.
and the ship is like going down like towards this side. So if this is the ship and it's going this way, he's walking to this direction. He just leans back, and it's like the Michael Jackson move.
Yeah.
So you are like this, but you lean back and you won't fall, and you are just stable. You're actually slanted on the ground, but then you are balanced. And when it's
Wow.
moving to the opposite direction, you just go the opposite way. So it's leaning in, and you are swinging this way while standing. It's a nice feeling, though. But when it happens, you can't cook because it's moving. The ship is being
this
yes.
life and death situation
Yes,
is nice for you.
Yeah, I feel it as a fun situation.
But you work more in the engine room. So in situations like this, they will need your help, right? What do you do when you go there?
So the engines are always running.
Okay.
The engines are always running. When there's a storm,
Mhm.
they don't stop.
Okay.
We don't stop.
Okay.
And what we do is there's always communication between the bridge guys and then the engine. We are at below. We are
Okay.
below the ship,
Okay.
and they are above. So
Okay.
anytime, let's say even when we are setting sail, they call us. Okay, we need one engine to run. We need two engines. Normally it's 2 engines, 3 engines when we are maneuvering.
Okay.
So they call us and let us know. Okay, we need 2 engines. We need you to start 2 engines for maneuvering.
Okay.
But during a storm, the engines are always running. We never stop the engines.
Okay.
Otherwise, we are killing ourselves. And I'm sorry, before we started this, I think we should have done some terminologies, basic terminologies. You see, so on a ship, the right hand side facing the forward of the ship, if you are facing the forward, so we have the forward and then the aft. The ship is shaped this way, right?
Yeah.
Yes. That part, that meeting point, that's the forward of the ship. And then the back is the aft. We call it the aft.
Okay.
So if you are facing
Stern.
or the stern, yes.
Okay.
If you are facing the forward, your right hand side is your starboard side.
Okay.
And then your left hand side is the port side. So whilst we are talking, we'll probably be saying starboard, port
Okay.
side. He made mention of starboard.
And no one talks about left, right on the. No
You
one.
don't say
you
that.
never hear
Yeah,
it.
because
You never
I'm not
hear
hearing the left, right, center.
No, you never hear it. You only hear starboard side, port
Okay.
side, forward, astern or aft.
Okay.
Yeah,
Wow.
and then we have midships too. That's the middle of the ship.
This is your job, but is it demanding? How do you call it? The job market out there. Are they calling for more marine engineers? Is there much demand for more marine engineers, or is just?
He's a navigator.
So what of the navigators? Do you have space if someone want to? Is there space there?
Okay, disclaimer, I'm not a recruiter in any form, or neither am I an agency
I know
recruiting people.
that.
Yes,
but you have a fair idea, right?
but I would say the
Okay.
world always needs people to work.
Okay.
So you just have to get the right education you need, the right courses and certifications done, get good grades. You don't need get the good grades, and the grades and favor of God will talk for you.
Okay.
So there's always the demand for that. The Regional Maritime University actually is called opening the doors out to Ghanaians and non-nationals to come to get some training. Yeah.
training.
And
To
after
get
that, there's
yes.
job.
definitely you'd get a chance to search, as in apply for jobs, and hopefully we hope for the best always.
How did you get your job? Because a lot of people be watching this thinking, okay, how do I end up like you?
Okay, so winding through the ups and downs of it all, I finished with my education, and I actually had to learn because I don't know anyone, and there's nothing like protocol. So I had to learn my way through it. I had to bust myself out so my grades would talk for me. So I tried my best. I bent the candles. I don't know, midnight or morning candles. I don't know.
Candles.
But yeah, I did all that I needed to do, and I graduated, and I had good grades. I wouldn't blow any horns here, but I had good grades. So with a good grades, I applied to a company, a renowned and very good company. So I applied to that company, and I passed through a series of tests. I had to run.
Jogging.
You see, the job is demanding. Physically, it's demanding. You have to be fit because you work long hours, and anytime you should be ready. So I had to run about under 11 minutes. I had to make.
For the guys, I think it was 14.
So I had to make a lot of laps under 11 minutes around a football field, and I had to do lots of stuff. I had to write an English test. I had to write a general knowledge, a ship-based test also to check my aptitude and all that. So I had to do all that, and luckily enough, God saw me through. So I got a chance to be recruited right after graduation, and then I worked on getting my licenses. Certificates of trainings that the IMO, STCWs and all that.
Michelle, let me come to you. You made mention of the fact that if ladies want to take the marine engineering thing serious, they should take it now because there could be spaces.
Okay.
Yeah.
So not just marine engineering.
Okay.
I don't want to narrow it to marine engineering, but in general, like if per the trend now, not trend, per what's the word?
What's happening now?
Per statistics.
Statistics, yeah.
Yes, exactly. Per statistics, International Maritime Organization, they did some statistics, and then they realized that the whole world, the percentage of women in seafaring careers, that's like nautical science and marine engineering, is just 2% out of 100.
Okay.
Which is very, very thin.
Okay.
So now the limelight is on empowering women to partake in these seafaring careers.
Okay.
So what I was trying to tell you is, if you are a female and then you are interested in a career at sea, I would encourage you to, because now the demand for female seafarers is high. So there is a high probability that
you'll get a job.
Exactly. There's a high probability that immediately you graduate, you have a slot. Yes, because now we are concentrating on empowering women to also venture in careers that are termed male dominated. Exactly. Yes, but not just for females. If you're a man too, and then you also want to venture in this career,
he got a job. So.
Exactly. You see,
and I would say RMU, Regional Maritime University, is actually a very good school. In Africa. It's an accredited university in the world, because we as students from here, from Ghana, Accra, get to compete in the international market with students from America, from Europe, from China, from the Philippines, from Venezuela. Like, we get to. Everywhere. I was the only African on board my vessel, and I got to compete with them. I was up to the task because I was prepared from the university. The lectures and the tuition, everything that I received here prepared me adequately for the job ahead. So RMU is a good school too.
You were a navigator, right?
Yes.
So when your ship is about to sail, you walk into the ship. What are you supposed to do before the ship gets to where it's supposed to get? Walk us through what you do within the ship.
Okay, so what I'm working my way, I have aspirations of being a captain one day. So it's just like with every career, you'd have to walk up the ladder. You'd have to climb up. So you start from the very start and work your way up the ladder. So what I do now as a navigator and a starter, I get on board the ship, and let's say we are to leave port. There are a series of tests that have to be done. The engines have to be tested.
Yes.
They have to be tested to know that everything is intact. Everything. And you know, it's shocking. Imagine a car's engine running for 3 weeks non-stop. Every second of the day, it's running. Sometimes I feel the engine of the vessel is going to the metals are just going to melt because of the heat and all that. But they have been designed for this task.
Yes.
They work non-stop for weeks, for months. Imagine my vessel took a voyage from United States to China, and that with stops and bunkering, it would take 55 days. So imagine the ship's engine working non-stop for 55 days.
But don't forget, it's not just one engine.
Yeah.
We don't have just one.
Oh, so you switch?
Yeah.
Yes, my ship, we had 6 engines.
Ooh,
Exactly.
the one you recently went.
Yes.
Okay.
My previous ship was 4 engines.
Okay.
But my previous ship was quite smaller as compared to the most recent one.
Okay.
So we had 6 engines.
Okay.
So an engine, well, it's wired to run for at least 24 hours, and then we switch to another engine. This one will be on standby, and then after that we go back to, because definitely after running for 24 hours there will definitely be certain maintenance that has to be done. So it will be on standby. Those maintenance are done, and then we switch back. That's why we have 6 engines. At least if 4 is running, sometimes 4 engines run at a time, sometimes 5. But if 4 is running, one will we always have to have one on standby.
So with the test and all that, after the test, we would have a stowaway check. We go around every space in the vessel to check if there's no stowaway from the current port or from the port of departure.
But still, people go.
Oh, you will definitely have somebody.
So that's
not
my
always.
question. How does that happen? Like,
well, it depends on, you see, there's this thing we call in ISPS.
Okay.
It's a system, it's an IMO system, which is to regulate these port entry of people into the vessel. Onto the vessel, actually. Entry of people from the port or from that country onto the vessel. So it's more like, I wouldn't use security, but in a layman's term, it's more like a security agent at a security post. And there's only one entry into the ship. So whoever climbs onto the ship will be seen by that person. But sometimes, you know, things can happen. You shouldn't lose sight, but maybe something happens and you lose sight. Someone would be preparing to.
And would you be punished for that?
It was under your watch that it happened, so you'd have a lot of questions to answer. Yeah.
To your captain?
Yeah, to your superiors.
Okay.
So, and after this stowaway check, there's also, you know, every ship in port has been berthed. It's at berth.
Okay.
Not birth, but berth, B-E-R-T-H.
Yes,
it's
packed.
packed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
In normal terms, it's been packed, but as seafarers, you call it's been berthed.
Okay.
So, or it's moored.
Okay.
When it's moored or it's at berth, there are these mooring lines, ropes, very thick ropes that have been
I think even
used.
they use it here on land as.
But people don't realize. Sometimes on some roads in here, you'd realize there's this
road
thick
drums.
rope.
Of late I see.
Very heavy.
Those are the mooring ropes
Yes.
for ships.
So these ropes, it's about the most recent one I saw was about 150 meters, a coil of it, but it depends with their types of these ropes. So these ropes hold the ship in position. So either during loading or discharging of cargo, the ship does not move, because there can be another ship berthed right ahead of you. So if you move even few meters ahead, you can
collide.
Yes, you can cause an accident. So these ropes hold the stern and the forward of the ship in position, so it doesn't move. It can slack depending on the draft. When draft is how deep the ship is submerged into the water. So when it enters more, it can slack or it can tighten. So
the tension
can increase or decrease. But then so you check more. So if we are leaving port and we are at berth, it means we have to have mooring operations, and we have to collect all these ropes by a winch and put them back onto the vessel, and then we set sail. So after the test and the search and all that, we have this mooring operation, take back our ropes, and then we secure them and set sail. Yes. Well, as we set sail, we execute the plan which had been carried out by the second officer, who is the navigation officer.
So like he said, before you actually get to like a higher rank, you definitely have to
serve.
Exactly. So I like to say that I'm in the early stages of my career. So my responsibilities are more or less like assisting my superiors.
Oh.
Exactly, and
Okay.
learn from them.
Okay.
So this career that we're in, you're always learning.
Okay.
Like at every point in time, you are always learning.
Okay.
I'm in the early stages.
Okay.
And then after that, I will move to another stage. And even at that stage, I still have to learn to get to another stage. So it's like move, learn, move, learn.
Okay.
So my responsibilities, I assist my engineers, my superior,
Okay.
with the maintenance of the engine. We have planned maintenances and unplanned maintenances. What I mean by planned maintenance is like after maybe let's say 600 hours of the engine running, there are certain maintenances that we have to do, maybe change certain parts of the engine and use a newer one. So I assist with that. And then unplanned maintenance, let's say for instance we have fuel injectors leaking. We can't run the engines with leaking fuel injectors, so we have to change them. Those are unplanned maintenances.
Okay.
So I assist my engineers with all these things. But basically, my responsibility is to learn.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
My responsibility
And
is to
you
learn.
get to see a lot of places because I saw you in California or something.
Yes.
You were having fun on the job.
All work and no play.
I mean, making
You
sure.
understand? Exactly.
But how do you guys balance the two? The career is so demanding, and then relationship. How do you guys balance it? Quick one before we go.
Okay,
Let's
so
start with the lady. Or we should start with the guy.
Start with the guy.
Okay, yeah. I mean, the
Personally-
guy. My boss says start with the lady, but the lady says start with the guy.
Would you want to start?
Did you not hear me?
Okay, the camera is on Michelle, so let's
Okay.
start with Michelle. How do you balance your love life and then career like this? Because it sounds like it's so demanding.
Yes, but I feel like communication is everything.
Okay,
The moment you lose communication,
everything is gone.
Exactly. So we try as much as possible to keep in touch all
Okay.
the time. Like for instance, when I'm on board and he's on board, even though internet becomes a problem,
Okay,
but we still try as much as possible to keep in touch.
okay. Is it
Yeah.
tough? My boss, let me bring in. I think she doesn't want to answer. You are the guy. I mean,
Yeah.
you have the base. So how challenging is it?
So, before I had the word to talk, I had this in mind, which I actually want, but I'm forgetting that. I'm sure it would come up.
Okay.
Actually, it's tough. It's
Okay.
tough because
Yeah,
it's
I was
tough.
thinking about that.
The crying, I don't mean literal crying, but I mean the emotions you'd have to share and all that. It's really hard.
Okay.
I just returned about 2 weeks ago,
Okay.
and then before I returned, the last 2 weeks before I came home, my ship lost internet connection, so I couldn't communicate with her. So I have to learn to deal with being away from the internet. And you see, everything prepares us for greater tasks. I was with my second officer, and he told me it's a good thing, which I think we all should learn. When you are with people, you should learn to put your phone aside.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah,
spend
yeah,
quality
yeah,
time with them.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you know what I see with a lot of Ghanaian guys, the couples that I don't like? They go to dinner and then
Exactly.
they are all on their phones. I'm like, who
Yes.
taught you guys?
Yes.
This is dinner.
My second officer told me if he used the same scenario. If you are going to use your phone here, he said he went out with a couple of friends and he came from saying they are using their phones while
And
they
then
are
let me
out.
go
And
home,
then
eh?
he said, my friend, then I'm
Oh, yeah,
going
me,
home.
I'll
Use your
tell you,
phones
let
and
me
I'll
go
go
Because
home.
dinner
But
is between the two of us. Let's have
we
conversation.
should learn to spend quality time instead of this phone. And being on board the ship helps you value time with
With
someone
people.
in person
Okay.
than through the phone.
Okay.
So it's actually tough balancing our work life and all that. But this was what I wanted to say. It's actually fun. Sometimes we do time travel. I don't know how you'd understand that, but recently the time difference between herself and I, she was in Ghana having a few stuff done, and the time difference was 5 hours. So when it's 5 p.m. here, it's now 12 noon
Yeah.
where I am.
Okay.
And 12 noon, I would go back to work at 1 p.m. And 1 p.m. will be 6 p.m.
6
So imagine I'm done with work at 5 p.m. And now I need to eat, take my bath 6 p.m. or 1800 o'clock, I'll be done. 1800 plus 5 hours, what would it be? 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 p.m.
You
Yeah,
have
she
to
would be
sleep.
she's
Yeah,
tired.
she has to sleep.
And she would tell me she wouldn't sleep. She's going to stay. And sometimes me myself
course,
coming
now,
from
love
work, I'm
this
already
sweet.
tired. And she has also waited till 11. So if I don't talk to her, she may get she's
I
not
mean, she
pissed,
said,
but I mean she would be
women,
unhappy.
you know
And
women.
if I talk to her too, I'm going to work the next day and I'll be so much exhausted.
Yeah.
And even not the next day, I would rest from 5 p.m. Work ends at 5, and I would have to start work. My next shift is at 12 a.m. or 00 hours. So I have just about 6-7 hours of rest, and in that time I need to talk to her, eat, bath,
Yeah.
rest, or even learn. So you see how it's tough actually. It's tough, but I said you need to be understanding with your partner because he or she needs to understand you wouldn't be available always.
all the time.
The times where the internet, like, let me use disappeared, she didn't know about it, and for 4 or 5
And she'll be
days-
scared because
yes,
you're on sea.
yes, for 4 or 5 days.
Well,
she
I
hadn't
wasn't
said it.
really scared.
Yeah, because she's used to the system.
okay. She said she wasn't really scared.
I have experienced internet problems on board before, so I
okay.
knew probably it's the internet.
It's the
But
internet.
sinking? No, he's not sinking.
It's not safe.
It's a great feeling
He's
because
safe.
yeah.
I'm
Because-
just imagining your kids. Like daddy's gone, mommy's home, mommy's also gone, daddy's home. Like
It's
that balance.
actually a difficult-
But it's a nice
yeah.
career actually.
It's
Like
it is nice because I have personally had a chance to meet nice. I wouldn't talk about the countries. Maybe I would, but
Okay.
I've met really nice people.
Okay.
Really nice people from different backgrounds,
Yeah.
different countries, different continents.
Wow.
I've been. Should I list them? But
Oh please
I
list
don't-
them, list them, list them. List some,
I've been
list
to
some.
I've been to the.
You
I've
made
been
mention
to-
of Brazil already.
Yes, I've been
Yeah.
to Egypt.
Okay.
I've been to Israel, Jerusalem, Bethlehem, Golgotha, where Jesus Christ was crucified. All I've been there, and
This-
after that, I've been to outside Israel. I've been to Spain. I've been to Greece, Malta. I've been to Brazil. I've been to Argentina, Paraguay. I've been to the United States, Texas, New York. I've been to Dominican Republic. I've been to Colombia. I've been to Wilmington, Delaware, and I've been back to Spain, Egypt, and all that. So I can't even remember most of them.
And then you've been
but
around.
Yes, I've been
You've
around.
been
I've
everywhere.
been around,
These are
yes.
countries that people are dreaming to
Yes.
go. You've already.
And I've had a chance to visit, experience it, lived with them.
How is it like going to those places and meeting people? What did they say about Africa, Ghana?
I have certain videos where I was one time taking a video in Colombia, and it was nighttime, around 9-10 p.m.
Oh.
And people, it's actually funny, around on the banks of these rivers, they've been decorated for leisure. People actually sit around these banks and relax. They go
Yeah.
for jogging, walk
Okay.
around with their
Okay.
dogs, and it's actually nice.
Okay.
So my crew and I were walking around these parts, and then I was just making a snap video with my crew, and then one woman was just behind, and she started waving, and it was a nice feeling. I had to say, "Hola, ¿cómo estás?" I had to speak Spanish with her, and it's a nice feeling. It's
Wow.
really a nice feeling too.
Wow.
And being in the US and all that, you meet nice people.
Nice people.
Yeah.
People are people, but trust me, there are still good people.
There are
out
still
there.
nicer
nice
people,
are out there.
out there.
I met some couple in Argentina. They took me to Lionel Messi's house where he was born, where he grew up, his park, his museum, his school, and apparently it's more like Lionel Messi knew the woman with whom I was with.
Oh.
Yes, because they almost dated. Actually, the woman narrated
That's
the
a
stories.
flex.
Yeah, so
that's what I was
the
trying to say.
friendship
That's
was
a flex.
happy, yeah.
She almost
was happy,
dated Lionel Messi.
Yes, because Lionel Messi invited her to come into there because Lionel Messi's cousin was her classmate. So she went to the house to get some homework done, and Messi was like, come on in. And she was like, no, my mom would beat me.
Ah.
So she refused the first time, and then a few days later, Messi met her on the street again and was like, now this guy, the first time the guy wasn't home, so the second time Messi was like, this guy is home, so come meet him in the house. I can take you, let's go together. And she was like, nah. And she was telling me she felt no, and her husband was driving and she was in the back and I was at the front, and she was like, if not, I wouldn't be with my husband now, because by now she would have probably been with Lionel Messi and they would have a
Lionel
family and
Messi.
all that. Yes.
So she had a chance to date Lionel Messi and she turned it
Yeah,
down.
almost dated. They almost did
Okay.
it, but then she turned it down because her mom would beat her. That was what she said.
Why would the mom beat her?
I don't
That
know,
time
but
he
she
wasn't
was young,
popular.
they were
That
in-
time he
they-
wasn't
he
Lionel
he-
Messi.
Oh, okay.
No, she said that time Messi was in Barcelona, but the debut of his career.
Oh, okay,
He was at the
okay.
very start, so he wasn't that popular then and all that.
Okay.
But yeah,
So he wasn't Lionel Messi.
He was
was
still coming
Messi,
up.
but he
He
wasn't
was
popular.
still coming up. At that time, Ronaldinho was the guy that was dominating.
in the mirror, I would say.
But what were some of the things you saw over there in Lionel Messi's
Argentina.
house, the museum, and all
Oh,
that?
it's a nice place. They have these booths and football stuff.
Okay.
And it's nice. They took me to this place even in around 4 p.m. and I've not seen it here where, let's say, there's a football park where parents drive their kids to the field around 5 p.m. go play football and the parents are cheering the kids up. Hey, go, you can do it, score.
I think I see
I saw
that
that
in the US.
Yeah, I saw that in Tenerife, not US.
Yours
In
was
Tenerife,
same.
Spain,
Okay.
Canary Islands.
Oh, okay.
Very
I saw it in Argentina, and I was like, wow.
The parents
actually
drive the kids.
They bring
Yes.
them to have fun.
Sure. Now
It's
Ghana
like,
can't be
"Hanu
able
Johnny,
to
Koi
do
Babu."
Ghana can't be a so cool bobo.
And it all helps these kids build up
Okay.
their talent.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they grow up and they get to play and like, this.
I mean,
this
look at
family,
Lionel Messi now.
Yes,
You know.
this family, they took me around. There was a night drive from. First, they brought me from church back to the ship, and later that evening, they took me from the ship again around 7 p.m. and brought me back to the ship at 11:30 p.m. Just a tour. They made me taste what Argentina is known for.
Okay.
They call something dulce de leche. It's made of milk and sugar,
Okay.
like a toffee or paste, like bread spread. It was very nice. They made me taste one type of tea, which Argentina is known for, and it was very nice.
Very nice.
You get to meet nice people, nice
Yeah.
culture, experience it, live it, and it's just
Live
nice.
it, I mean, it
Yeah.
feels good.
So actually, it's fascinating because I've had it. I never thought I was going to get the chance. I love dolphins because dolphins are really intelligent.
Okay.
While working on the ship and as a navigator, I've had a chance to see dolphins. I've had a chance to see a shark and touch a shark. I've had a chance to see whales pumping out water from. It's really nice. It's a nice experience to have. So it's work and fun. The job is demanding, yes, so it's fun. You get to meet nice people, you get to see nature. And at night when you look through you look at the skies, it's really beautiful. Sometimes you see other planets.
Wow.
Sometimes you get to see always you get to see the stars in their brightest form because there's no artificial light from land
Okay.
distracting your view.
Okay.
So you get to see in the dark ocean
How
or
the stars
you
look
get to see
like.
them brightly. And even with navigating, there's something we call constellations. How to, the way stars appear have names. So you just don't see the stars in the sky and think it's just scattered anyhow. No, they are called constellations. There's Arcus, there are so many constellations. That's how come some people say I'm Leo,
Yeah.
I am Aries, and all.
Capricorn, yeah.
They're all constellations. So how like a group of bright stars appear, some appear as dragons, some as a cross.
Oh.
These bright stars tell which type of star, which constellation, and this constellation helps you find where you are on the planet without GPS. It can, if you have a good idea about this constellation, you can get to know where you are on the surface of the earth. And also it can tell you which season, because if you should see a specific constellation, there are specific months and positions where you'd find them. So they are all, it's fascinating. You get to see the stars in their brightest form. Natural, man, it's nice. These fishes are nice. Yeah. Yes.
But in 1 minute before we close, do you guys regret joining your? Do you regret being a marine engineer? Let me start with the lady. My boss is laughing.
No, I don't.
You don't.
I don't. I get to visit different places, different countries while working
Okay.
and earning.
Okay. So
I
I mean
don't
that is
regret
beautiful. I mean, if not for the work, you wouldn't have been to those places on a regular.
No. I probably maybe like if I'm working a regular job and then I will probably be saving and
to
then
travel.
have to travel to one place.
Which is
I don't know. I don't have a favorite place that I want to visit. But I'm just citing a scenario. Assuming I was working a regular job here, I'd have to save
before you get
I'd
to
be able to go on vacation. But here lies the case. I'm vacationing and working at
like
the
some
same
of us
time.
save 3 years before we travel once. Boss, I mean, before we go, do you regret having been a navigator?
No, I don't. This reminds me of one friend of mine.
Okay.
One time in an interview, he was asked by our company superiors why he wants to be an engineer.
Okay.
One said he wants to challenge his father because his dad is a car mechanic. And he wants to challenge his dad by dealing with bigger engines. And the second said he likes to take risks. And we all laughed because he said he's a risk taker.
Okay.
Why do you want to go to sea? Why do you want to be an engineer? Because I like to take risks. That was what he said. But just like I said earlier on, in the storm, you don't have to stop. You have to keep moving.
Okay.
Just like me, sometimes it's nice when you move outside your comfort zone. It's nice when you break barriers. It's nice when you achieve stuff. It's nice when you meet milestones. It's nice when you meet goals. So it's nice when you push yourself to do stuff which. So now you see, with this exposure and all that, it will be easy for her to deal with her car.
Yeah.
If it has a fault, she can understand the whole operation, and someone wouldn't easily cheat her because she knows what is going on and why what is happening is happening.
Yeah. I get that.
Yes.
I get that.
Usually, before starting this career, I drive, and sometimes it's nice when you're driving fast, but practicing safety as a priority on the ship now, upon returning, I've slowed down with. I don't drive slow.
Yeah,
I
now-
don't,
now, yeah, he
but
does.
I mean, not fast. But I mean, I compare the ship's safety measures to what is actually on ground. You have to, you see, me as a navigator, there's this set of rules, collision regulations, that it's a whole book of a lot of rules that you need to memorize. The ship has no brake.
Yeah.
No brake.
Oh.
So it's everything is calculations,
Yes,
knowing the
there's no
stopping
brake.
distance, the speed.
So
and
what does
everything.
the anchor do? That thing that you drop in the
Anchor is stability, just to
It's
hold
just
it in one
hold it
position.
In one position.
Ah,
In
but why-
emergencies, they can use to aid in braking, but it's not for braking. Anchor is not for braking.
But why doesn't the ship have a brake?
I guess I'll have to research on that.
Yeah.
I think never
Wow.
feel, if you don't know something, never feel, never take it hard to admit you don't know it and
It's
research
true, it's
about
true,
it.
it's true, it's
Yes.
true.
I would have to actually research why doesn't the ship have
With
like
all
the
this
ship have
storm, the
brakes?
turning, the 45 degrees
Yes.
things. Oh.
Yes.
Wow.
But then the ship has no brakes.
Okay.
So what they have to do, we have to do calculations, know when to start braking, and when the braking would actually take place, know when to reduce speed, know when to increase speed, and all that. So
Wow.
it's a whole lot.
I actually think the braking, well, maybe braking the car, if you compare it to braking in a ship, is just basically stopping propulsion, and then the ship would stop.
Astern, you can
Yeah.
reverse propulsion and
Okay.
it begins
You just
to.
stop propelling the ship.
The ship, and then it will
would
just
stop.
come to a halt.
That's where, let's say, if you want to anchor, that's where anchoring comes in.
Oh,
You
okay.
stop propulsion and then you anchor.
Oh, okay.
So I think, yeah, if you compare braking in a car and then braking in a ship, that's just it,
Okay.
in my opinion.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
But I would personally conduct a research why they don't have
Yeah.
They
brakes.
don't
at
have
least.
that brakes
Yeah.
on it.
Because aeroplanes have brakes, they're in the air, and like I mean, they flap their wings and then they are braking.
Sometimes,
But
yeah.
why can't we brake? Yeah. Why can't
Okay,
we
I
brake?
mean 30 seconds. Let's finish. What do you have to tell people out there? Who should I start with? We started with the lady the other
So
time.
now
So
we start with the guy.
Okay. Personally, I would motivate you all.
please motivate us.
Take the chances. Be a risk taker. If I tell where I started from, if you want something, go for it, but go for it in the right way. Don't
Okay.
use dubious means or go for it in the right way.
Okay.
I started with selling pure water and I took it seriously. I made it with that, and I'm here and I'm doing my best to get good at this.
I think I need to run an interview along with the pure water side. That will motivate a lot of people.
Yes.
So please finish.
Yes.
Okay.
So take up the chances. You need to be ready. Life is full of opportunities. You need to know how to search for it. And when you find that, you need to know how to grasp it.
Okay.
Because if you don't take it,
To slip.
it would slip, and it's hard to come by these lost opportunities. Take it.
Okay.
Personally, I love what I do, and I would encourage you all to go for what you do.
What you do.
Okay. Yeah.
Michelle.
Okay, so before I even make the point that I want to make, I'd like to share something with you.
Please share with us.
So when I completed my bachelor's degree here, I had colleagues that had already gotten companies, and immediately after graduation, they went on board,
Okay.
and I was still here.
Okay.
So I decided to take my national service, and I did my national service for a whole year. Normally here on campus, while you're doing national service, there's a probability that you'd get a company to recruit you. So
Okay.
you'd have to put a stop to the national service
And go.
then go. I had been applying. I don't even remember the number of companies that I applied to.
Wow.
But I applied to so many companies. I had colleagues that had the chance to go, and I was still here. If I decided to give up, I probably would have given up because it was so many companies that I applied to, and I completed my national service a full year, and I still didn't have a company that had recruited me.
Okay.
So I decided to apply to jobs that are based on land. I worked in pure water manufacturing company.
Okay.
Okay.
The two pure water sellers.
So yeah, they manufacture pure water and then other soft drinks. I could have decided to just stay there because I had a job. I mean, the salary wasn't that good, but I still had a job that was paying me. But I still didn't give up because I knew what I wanted. I saw the larger picture, and I decided to go for it. So I applied to so many companies. Even I applied to this. I don't know if you know Dodi.
I think I've heard
Yes, Akosombo.
Akosombo,
You see,
yeah.
And they offered me an internship, which was, internship. Ideally, internship, they are not exactly, and they are not. You normally they don't really have to pay you.
Have to pay you, yeah.
Exactly, but they still gave me something like a stipend, which was lesser than what I was being paid
At the company,
at the
the pure
manufacturing
water,
company.
yeah.
But because it was related to the field that I was in, which is
The marine engineering,
exactly
yeah.
engineering, I decided to go for it because I saw the larger picture.
Okay.
I thought, okay, if I'm not getting the companies that I want, why not start from somewhere,
And
build
then
my
develop,
CV?
yeah.
You understand? Because imagine if I put in my CV that I have worked as an engineering intern in a boat, which is sailing, even though it's not like
A large
exactly one. It's still something. So again, I saw the larger picture. I didn't give up, and then I continued. I was still applying applying to companies while
Whilst
working.
you were still there, yeah.
While working as an intern, and then I applied to be a volunteer with a ship. It's a hospital. And then a ship at the same time. It's a hospital ship. So I volunteered. But now that's where you see I always say this company, Mercy Ships, they propelled my career. That was the starting or let me see
The turnaround.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. They helped me a lot. I volunteered over there as an engine cadet, and that was where it all started.
Okay.
It's a hospital ship, a passenger ship, and it's a ship.
Okay.
Family.
Family ship.
Yeah, they will be coming to Ghana, I think, next year. So
Okay.
you'd probably get to see them. So yeah, because it was a passenger ship, that was where I had experience working there, and that was how come I got the company that I'm with now.
Good now, okay.
This company is where I am now. Is my dream company. So you see where I started from.
Gradually.
Yes.
One of the best.
You see, if I decided to give up and then
You
stay,
would still have been
Yes.
at that job
exactly, I wouldn't be
where
I
you are
am
now.
So
Okay.
what I would want to say is, in everything that you are doing, don't just narrow your sight. See the larger picture. At the end of the day, things are going to turn out even more than what you expected.
Okay.
Yes. So never give up.
Never
That's
give
what-
up,
yeah.
guys. I mean, that's a strong one over there. Never give up. I mean, these two guys, the guy has had his own experience, she has also had her own experience. They've been there, they've seen it all. They're motivating you guys. Go out there and do something for yourself.